And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you already know who it is, man. Welcome back to the Lewis Basketball Network. Welcome back to my channel, and I am back with another banger with yet another video. Once again, man, I keep the grind, I keep the hustle, never stop, never settle, man. Truly appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch my video. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're doing. Make sure to share this video, only helps the channel grow. Truly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I hope everybody had a happy Mother's Day. I hope everybody got to spend their time with their families, man. Honor your mothers, love and respect them as always. They mean the world to you, and definitely, my mom means the world to me. And, 2 Game 7's on Mother's Day. What can you ask for? 2 close games. Let's see, last night, let's start with the Portland Trail Blazers and the Denver Nuggets, man. It was a great game. One thing that was confusing for me was how the Nuggets came out. I thought that they were going to take this game by the squeeze, and I said, you know what, I picked the Blazers because I felt like Damian Lillard was going to do something and try to keep them in the game as much as possible. But Damian Lillard struggled. He was only 3 for 17 for the entire game. He showed me the mark of a superstar and the mark of a true leader. Because, ladies and gentlemen, CJ McCollum carried the Blazers when Damian Lillard was struggling with his shot. CJ McCollum went 17 of 29 from the field. He had 37 points. Shot well over 50% from the field. And, the Blazers got contributions from their bench. I know Rodney Hood got injured on that screen and his leg buckled. So my prayers go out to Rodney Hood. Hopefully that his injury is not serious, and that if it is, I hope he ends up making a speedy recovery if he happens to be out of the playoffs. But I hope it's not serious, and that I hope he can play against the Warriors. So CJ McCollum, man, was just balling. The moves he put on the floor, just great, just really awesome. For the Denver Nuggets, Paul Millsap struggled. He was 3 of 13, ended up fouling out. The Nuggets confused me because the game plan that they had was what caused them to get a 17-point lead. And for some reason, the game started to slow down a little bit. And for some reason, the Nuggets never really took it to the basket afterwards. And Jokic, who was playing great in the first half, he hit 2 threes in the first half. He didn't shoot a 3 for the rest of the game. And on top of that, the Nuggets really didn't go to him down low. Jamal Murray was 4 of 18 from the field, so that was really tough. But I give shout outs to the Nuggets. I really thought that they were gonna go to the Western Conference Finals because I thought matchup wise they were a problem for the Warriors just because of the fact that they had so much depth, and because DeMarcus Cousins is not there, who is gonna stop Nikola Jokic? He was gonna have a field day with the Warriors interior, and you saw the skill set that he was displaying against the Nuggets. Not against the Nuggets, against the Blazers, pretty much all game long. He was cooking. I'm just surprised that they didn't go to him in the second half. It just seemed a little bit weird to me. But listen, give the Blazers again credit. Give them a lot of credit, man. They played well defensively, and CJ McCollum with the play of the game with that whole LeBron chase down block, man. Just the effort on defense. And once again, shout out to Damian Lillard for showing true leadership. He could have really tried to take the game over, and he did take 17 shots, but he took 12 less shots than CJ McCollum. Recognized that CJ McCollum had the high hand and just rode with the horse, man, and focused on other things. That's the true mark of a leader, true mark of an alpha, true mark of a superstar. And I think Damian Lillard just took a big step forward, man, in the fact that the Blazers were able to win with him struggling, and he focused on other areas to help his team win. Just big shout out. And it's the intangibles, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm talking about with guys like Russell Westbrook and guys like Kyrie Irving. Damian Lillard just showed you, man, that there's other things that you can focus on when you don't win, when your shot isn't falling, and don't let it deter you from doing other things on the court. Damian Lillard has really shown that he's grown and matured as a player. And shout out to the Nuggets, man. Let me tell you, this team is going to be scary, especially when Michael Porter Jr. comes back. The sky's the limit for this Nuggets team, and hopefully next year we'll see him in the conference finals and not contending for a championship. But definitely shout out to the Nuggets. It was a great season. They could have won the series. Unfortunately, they didn't. But once again, man, congratulations to Portland, and they go to the Western Conference Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, back on CJ McCollum's podcast, he had Kevin Durant as a guest. And CJ McCollum was complaining about how the Warriors kept getting this, how Kevin Durant joined the Warriors and made it unfair for the league. And Kevin Durant was like, yo, you need to focus on your team. Your team is not even really a championship contender. Your team is a second-round team at best. McCollum stood quiet. He was kind of a bit in his feelings and just complaining how he was saying how he was a competitor and all this kind of stuff. So funny that podcast happened that long time ago and that the Blazers weren't even contenders. But ladies and gentlemen, for some reason now, we have them in the Western Conference Finals. Man, how fitting is that, man? It just makes you think, right? On top of that, we have the backcourt of McCollum and Lillard going up against the Splash Bros up in Golden State in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. That is going to be a fun matchup. The only problem that I have is that the Blazers, to me, they don't have really the answers for everybody else once you go outside of McCollum and Damian Lillard. Rodney Hood would help, Zach Collins would help, Miles Leonard would help. They're going to have to use everybody. Terry Stotts is going to have to make some adjustments. He's going to have to really use his players. Hopefully Mo Harkless steps up. All these other guys, Cantor and all these other guys step up and they just play with a total team effort. We got to see what happens. Hopefully Rodney Hood's not injured, that he could contribute. Nurkic would have been nice to have because it would have helped him with the rebounding. And we also have to remember that KD, DeMarcus Cousins, and possibly Damian Jones could possibly all be back in the Western Conference Finals. So keep an eye on that too. Who do I pick to win the series? I picked the Warriors, and I'm going to pick them in 6 games. I think the I think the Blazers are good enough to get 2 games on the Warriors. I think they're good enough to get 2. But I think the Warriors will ultimately win in 6 and will go to the NBA Finals for a 5th straight year. And also, the Curry brothers are playing. So ladies and gentlemen, Steph against Seth. Who is Mama Curry going to cheer for? Who is Daddy Curry going to cheer for? By the way, Sonia Curry, pretty as hell. Give me a call. She the real MVP. But, it's going to be the 2 brothers going up against one another. So it's crazy how the Nuggets are the deeper team. And to me, they would have posed a big challenge to the Warriors. But now you got the Blazers who can somewhat force a challenge. But you got 3 great compelling stories in this series. Crazy, right? And this is what the NBA is really all about. It's about stories. That's what today's NBA has created. It's stories that entice you to watch the series. You hopefully believe that the product is as good as the storyline. Let's just see what happens. But I picked the Warriors in 6. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on to the Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, before I get started on this game, let me just say this. I know Joel Embiid has gotten a lot of gotten a lot of heat for his excuses that he has talked about. I know that Joel has been sick, but when the thing is, when he's played well, it's like he acts completely different from when he doesn't play well, and then what his post-game comments are. So that's why people have kind of been like, maybe this guy's kind of making a lot of excuses, man, for a guy who's supposed to be this great. But let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Embiid cried after the game, and let me just say this. The guy showed a lot of heart. He showed that he really cared. Now, people are going to say, man, he crying because he got sent home. Listen, you're going to cry when you get sent home. You have a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, man, and try to represent the East. And, they lost on a Kawhi buzzer beater. What can you say? Kawhi just hit a big-time shot. And, there is to it. Ben Simmons only taking 5 shots just tells me that as much as he's 22 years old, I need him to try to focus on the game. And I'm going to say it right now, the Sixers are not going to win a championship as long as Ben Simmons doesn't have a jump shot. And people are saying, well, he has a jump shot, he just doesn't take him. I'm like, well, if he has a jump shot, but he's choosing not to take him, that's showing me he's kind of afraid of the moment. And that is your jump shot really that good? If you're not going to take the shot, then I don't think so. It's so crazy. Pascal Siakam played out there really, really scared. Really scared, you could tell. Like, he didn't want to be like the guy taking shots, and then if he missed them, that he'd be the reason to get blamed for why the Raptors lost. It's like, I could just see his body language. He did make a big layup to put them up 89-85, but he looked really scared to take shots when they were available. So, but ladies and gentlemen, and Jimmy Buckets, who struggled, was making some big plays in the 4th quarter. This game right here, this had 2000s, early 2000s era of basketball in the playoffs. That's what this game reminded me of. You had great defense, you had teams missing shots, and then in the 4th quarter, guys making big plays back and forth, exchanging leads. Like that, it had like the feelings of a real Game 7, which it was. And ladies and gentlemen, Kawhi Leonard, yeah, he took 39 shots, but the man scored 41 points, and the man hit the game-winning shot. Do numbers really matter in terms of maybe he missed 23 shots, and he did miss a big free throw, that could have put him up 3. But instead, Jimmy Butler ties the game, and Kawhi Leonard comes back, goes baseline, man, off the curl. I thought Ben Simmons should have double-teamed him. Instead, he kind of got away, and then Joel contested the shot. Now, it was a top shot, don't get me wrong, but I think if Ben Simmons double-teamed him, he probably would have never got a shot up. So I was kind of surprised why Ben went away from him. But it's like, I don't. It was a very weird game. It was a very weird game. But once again, and the thing is, you already know Skip. He's gonna hate. He's gonna find a way to troll Kawhi Leonard and say that Kawhi Leonard, well, he had 41 points, but he had to take 39 shots. Not giving credit to the Sixer defense. Now, Kawhi did take some bad shots, but at the same time, the Sixer defense built a wall, so he couldn't contain to the rim. So the Sixers played very well defensively. Kawhi still found a way to get his, and he hit the shot when it mattered, Skip. That's what matters the most. But then Skip is going to say, you know, when it was in a tie game, listen, hit that shot when he's down. When the Raptors are down, and then I'll be impressed. But I'm not that impressed. As a matter of fact, he missed a free throw. As a matter of fact, Kawhi didn't even have the best plus-minus on the court. He was a -2. Yeah, that positive number 2 that you keep talking about. Well, on the integer line, you talk about how he's a positive. Well, he was a minus, so he was on the other end of the number line. All right, so he wasn't really that special, if you ask me. Shout outs to Kyle Lowry. Very impactful. You know, he didn't score, he did miss some shots, but the way that Kyle Lowry played, he didn't look like he was mentally checked out. He looked engaged in the game the entire time. Once again, I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Kyle Lowry just, he looked mentally engaged, and this is the Kyle Lowry that I wanted to see. And, you know, he proved me wrong in terms of like just being there on the court and being a presence. Now, he's going to have to score points in the next round against that #1 team in the East that's been the best team all year in the Milwaukee Bucks. And once again, and shout out to Serge Ibaka, ladies and gentlemen. With the Raptors bench once again being thin, they only showed up in 1 game out of the 7 games, and that was that crucial Game 5. Serge Ibaka had the best plus-minus of anybody on the court. He was a +23. So the guy was great. The guy was unbelievable, had the best impact on the court. But ladies and gentlemen, again, where would the Raptors be without Kawhi Leonard? You could talk about the -2 all you want. You could talk about the 39 missed shots, that he 39 shots to get 41 points. When the game was on the line in that 4th quarter, Kawhi Leonard made some big-time baskets. Ladies and gentlemen, and it shows you why the Toronto Raptors got this guy. No disrespect to DeMar DeRozan. He's a very good all-star player. But Kawhi Leonard showed you what a superstar looks like and what a superstar does in big moments. He proved it. Now, this is a small step for Kawhi Leonard. Now he's going to have to do it in the 3rd round, in the Final 4 against the Milwaukee Bucks. And the matchup that I have been praying for, because I kept saying to myself, man, this could really measure who could be the best player in the Eastern Conference, is coming true. Kawhi Leonard against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a great matchup. My concern is for the Raptors bench against that Milwaukee bench in the series. But individually, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get a treat, and I cannot wait for it. Game 1 at 8 o'clock, or I believe 8:30, I believe, one of the 2 times. Game 1 in Milwaukee. So the Raptors will start on the road. They will not have home court advantage. So, you know, it's gonna be a great one. And then the Western Conference Finals in Game 1 for the Final 4 out west. Game 1, Warriors and Blazers. Game 1 in Golden State. Once again, and I believe it's 9 o'clock Eastern time. Eastern time. So the Warriors will have home court advantage for the 4th time in 5 years. Last year they didn't have home court in the Western Conference Finals because Houston was the #1 seed with 65 wins. And let me tell you, man, after Kawhi hit that game winner, I bet you Drake made a track. He made a track after Kawhi knocked off the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Crazy, right? Yo, Drake is something else, bro. But I gotta say this, that 2nd round was real lit. I just wish I was more disappointed in the Boston Celtics. Crazy, really crazy. And I think Damian Lillard, to me, is the 2nd best point guard in the NBA. He leaped up Kyrie Irving, he leaped up Russell Westbrook. I think those 2 players took a step back. Russell was injured, but once again, he let his talk be the downfall of the series for him, even if he was injured. That was the issue. And then, ladies and gentlemen, James Harden is not a superstar. Yeah, I said it. The media has been overhyping this guy for such a long time. They've used his regular season numbers to have you fooled thinking, yeah, he had a great year. My issue with James Harden is not the 35 points he scored. My issue with James Harden was his play in the fourth quarter of Game 6. In Game 5, James Harden actually played very well. He wasn't as aggressive, don't get me wrong, but if you look at the Rockets' offense in the fourth quarter, they played very, very well. The only issue was that they had some crucial turnovers down the stretch, and Chris Paul struggled in the fourth quarter. He was only 3 for 14 in the game. And then, here's my thing, man. James Harden in the fourth quarter, your defense was horrible. Curry drove to the layup on one instance when Draymond did a slip screen and Curry just rolled. Easy. And James Harden didn't even try to close out on Steph Curry. He just let him drive. He put his hand in and then just kind of took his hand out. And that's what I was most upsetting. And in the waning moments of the game, James Harden did not show up. He didn't. The Rockets were so focused on going back and forth with the Warriors, choosing not to defend. And it's so funny, Mike Antoni, because I don't call him the Antoni, the face of the Pringles can, he mentioned the problem on why the Rockets lost. Defense. They couldn't stop people in the fourth quarter. They allowed Steph Curry to score 23 points in the fourth quarter. That's what Chris Paul's salty ass gets for canceling Steph Curry's 1-hour practice session the night before Game 6. He did all this crap. Now you can have the court by yourself until October. You can have it all summer. You can practice all your shots. You can get paid all your money. And you can practice by yourself until October. Like Steph Curry said, don't you ever kick me off the court again, boy. And then Max Kellerman is going to have, he probably wet himself when he saw Kawhi Leonard hit that shot. Kawhi Leonard is better than Kobe Bryant. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been telling you this. I told it to you, okay? He is more clutch than Kobe Bryant. Skip is going to troll Kawhi Leonard and say why Kawhi Leonard struggled when he hit the game winner. And what's so crazy was, if you look at Kawhi Leonard's shot, he had very good follow-through. The shot looked very short, but if you look at the way he shot it with his leg out, very Jordan Kobe-esque, like he had the follow-through, and it looked a little short. The way the ball bounced, it looked like it was going to roll out, and then just when it seemed as it was going to come out, the basketball guy said, no, we're going to give you this game winner. It goes back in. It had one of the craziest bounces I've ever seen on a game winner, in a Game 7. So now for Kawhi to elevate his status even more, he's going to have to beat Giannis Antetokounmpo, and once he gets to the championship round, find a way to win a championship. Kawhi Leonard is crazy, but he has become Toronto's greatest Raptor in just a year's time. That's crazy, because we're talking about, people are going to say, well, what about Vince Carter? Vince Carter was the greatest dunker. But Kawhi Leonard just showed you why he's the greatest Raptor. And I love Vince Carter. I love Chris Bosh. But Kawhi Leonard just showed you why he's the best Raptor in just 1 year. And I think he should say, honestly, man. But it was just a crazy NBA Mother's Day Game 7s, man. You had great games. Felt like I was in the early 2000s, man. What made you fall in love with basketball? Like guys taking over the game. You see guys come out with the fast start. You see the physical play. You see the game slow down. Teams trying to execute in the half court. I just didn't like some of the guys settling for like jump shots, like one and done. But even then, man, like you just got great basketball, and this is what you want in the playoffs. This is what you ask for as an NBA fan. Like this is what you want, and I just hopefully see great basketball in the conference finals, man. That's all we ask for. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Lewis, man, with another one. Just gave you my Game 7 analysis, and I just gave you the stories. You have the two best players in the Eastern Conference going head-to-head for see who's the best player in the Eastern Conference. Makes for a great story. You got the Splash Bros against the combo of Lillard and McCollum, so the backcourt battle, along with Seth against Steph, and along with the McCollum KD situation on CJ's podcast. You got great stories all around in both conference finals, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Final Four, man. And as always, man, appreciate y'all as always. Make sure to share this video, man. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. As always, man, bless up. One love. Peace. Thanks for watching. I'll be back later on, guys.